Hey everyone, Mark the Movie Man here, and yes, it's that time, and it is and I've got one for you today that I was debating on whether or not to see it, but it was $5 Tuesday, so I was already there to see the Turtles. Why not see this film? It was only $5, right? And it's called Into the Storm, brought to us by director Stephen Quayle, who brought us Final Destination 5, and writer John Sweatham, who really hasn't done much outside of Step All In. So that doesn't really give you a lot of hope. But let's see what the story is that they give them. Well, they give us storm trekkers and thrill seekers and everyday townspeople who document through found footage a massive amount of tornadoes that hit their area. And we see it through the found footage clips, their experience and how they try to survive this horrible, terrible series of storms in their town of Silverton. Okay, so we've got this movie, and I'm going to give them this. I'm going to give them props. They did not build this as Twister 2014. They did not build this as a reboot of Twister. Though those of us who have seen Twister, it's going to feel a lot like Twister. And maybe it's because it has Twisters in it. We have storm chasers who are trying to prove something. In the Twisters, one of them is trying to prove a theory of what's inside a Twister. Yes, that's right. It's very similar to Twister, only this time we're being told through found footage, okay, through the perception of security cameras on the vehicles, cameras that people are carrying, because it's a documentary crew that we follow that is trying to make this tornado documentary. And you've got Matt Walsh in here playing Pete, the guy who's trying to shoot the documentary, who, go figure, he needs to get this shot. He's been doing it for 3 months, hasn't got his shot, and money's running out. I like the Pete character. Now, Matt Walsh, I loved him in Martin and Orloff. If you ever seen Martin and Dr. Orloff, he plays Dr. Orloff. Very hilarious independent film. So I enjoy his character. So when I got to see him in here, I'm like, okay, this is showing some promise, and I kind of like him. He's kind of playing up this really gung-ho, very devoted documentary character, and I enjoyed his character. I mean, you got all the cliches in here, of course. Now, what I will say was hair-raising and Into the Storm was actually the storm footage when the people got close to the tornadoes. Maybe it's because I really, really don't care for tornadoes. I mean, who does, right? But I mean, so the action scenes that we get in here with the tornadoes really close to the people and possibly going to suck them up and destroying buildings and that stuff actually was kind of edge of your seat. That stuff was handled very well, okay? It's just that the dialogue and the rest of this is so cliche and predictable. I mean, I wasn't expecting a whole lot going into this film, so my expectations were low, but let me tell you, I had fun with Into the Storm, more fun than I thought I would with it, alright? Now, again, we've seen this type of thing before in Twister, so that was very familiar to me, but when I was just sitting there and just let my mind go and try not to think of the science behind some of the Twisters that were showing, I was enjoying the majority of this film. I will admit it. The performances were okay. You've got a lot of new performers in here. You got Alicia Denham Carey. You got Nathan Kress in here. You've got Max Deacon in here. Kid actors and actresses who haven't done a whole lot. This is like one of their first features. They've come from kids shows on Nickelodeon and Disney Channel and that. And they did decent in here. I did it especially like the Caitlin performance. The girl who played Caitlin, Alicia Debnam Carey, excuse me for my pronunciation of that. I enjoyed her performance. It felt authentic. You felt, you're going to get this. It's a disaster film, so you're going to get your cliches in here. Now, I will say, I would have enjoyed the film more had they not done the found footage angle. While the found footage angle did get you in close with some of the storms and help with the tension, I really wish the rest of the narrative was played out more of a traditional film. I would have enjoyed it more, because it really had me questioning in some spots, why are they filming? And I understand they're doing a documentary, but still, they're continually filming. There's especially one part where there's lots of large hail, and it had me questioning some of the things and how they were getting some of the camera work in here, and it gets explained away, but still, it was just one of those things where I wish it had been told in a more traditional tale. I would have enjoyed the film probably even more. This is escapism, folks. You liked Sharknado, you're going to enjoy Into the Storm, probably even a little more. The film knows what it's doing, and there's really not a whole mystery. They know they're making this kind of cliche disaster film. Now, I will say when it gets to a certain point in the film, though, where they jump the Sharknado, okay? And no, there's not sharks in it, but I know their point. They're going for the environmental. They're going for the world environment is changing, global warming, whether or not you believe in it, stuff's happening, and they're going for showing worst possible case possible with the weather system that they have, okay? Blaming it on the climate change, which at one point, really, it just gets ridiculous. You've seen it in the trailer. The tornado's so large it's picking up jets. It's at this point that I wish they wouldn't had gone there. I would have enjoyed the film even more had they not jumped the shark with that and just left it with smaller tornadoes that are constantly happening. But by doing that, it really took it jump into Asylum Pictures territory and make you wonder how the film actually did get released into widescreen. There are dramatic moments, there are good moments, there are really bad moments. The special effects looked fairly decent, I will say, in here. And again, the moments when the tornadoes and the people were in peril were actually very hair-raising. But in the last 15 minutes of the film, it falls apart, gets so overblown that your brain just goes, okay, now you're just being silly. Just, all right, stop that right now. Stop it. This skit's gotten too silly. And so that took my enjoyment away from it. I still give it 2.5 stubs, okay? I enjoyed the film a lot more than I thought I would. I enjoyed the performances of the people in here. Wish it hadn't done found footage and wish they hadn't gone so overblown at the end of the film, because I think it could have had a chance to be a better film than what it was. There was potential there. It just didn't reach it because they decided to go a different angle with it. So, you know, if you like the Storm Chaser type films, if you liked Twister, you will probably enjoy this film. Even if you enjoyed Sharknado, while it's not as ridiculous as Sharknado, there are some hair-raising moments with the tornadoes. And in the end, I did come out and feeling it was worth at least the $5. And that'll about do it for us here at The Final Cut. Thank you so much for watching. Till next time, folks, keep that ticket stub.